The first note wasn't threatening. It wasn't even weird. Until I read the last line. It was handwritten. No envelope. Just folded, tucked neatly in my mailbox on a Monday morning. You looked tired today. But you're still beautiful when you cry. I stopped breathing. Because that morning, I cried in the shower. No makeup. No phone calls. No one saw me. Or so I thought. I showed it to my boyfriend. Probably someone saw you outside. You've been stressed lately. I wanted to believe him. But the handwriting, it looked familiar. Not mine. But close. Almost like someone practiced it. 2 days later, another note. This one shorter. He's lying about the meeting. Check his calendar. 3 p.m. I did. There was no meeting. That night I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Mailbox key in my hand. I told myself I was imagining things. That this was just a prank. That it wasn't personal. Until 3:08 a.m. I heard a sound. Metal. Faint. Like a key sliding into a lock. I jumped out of bed, threw on a hoodie. And ran to the hallway barefoot. Mailbox open. No one there. I barely slept that night. The next morning, I asked the building manager if there were cameras near the mailboxes. He said no. Privacy concerns. Of course. I started watching people more closely in the hallway. Neighbors. Delivery drivers. Anyone who lingered too long. That's when I noticed her. She wasn't new. I'd seen her before, maybe 2 floors down. Short brown hair. Oversized green hoodie. Quiet. Always looking down. But now she looked up. She smiled at me when I passed her by the elevator. Polite. Harmless. Until she said, "Hope you're feeling better today." I froze. "Sorry?" I asked. "You looked a little down the other day," she said. "It's okay. We all have those mornings." She pressed the elevator button. Didn't wait. Just walked down the stairs. That night, I found another note. No signature. Don't ask him. Watch him. People lie when they feel seen. It was written in the same tight, careful script. This time on pink paper. I knew that color. I'd bought the same notepad months ago. Kept it on my desk. Inside my apartment. I needed proof. Not for anyone else. For myself. So I made my own note. Same paper. Same handwriting style. Different message. You were right. I shouldn't trust him. I'll confront him tomorrow. I folded it carefully, like the others. Then slipped it under my own door. Just enough so it looked like it accidentally slid out. Then I waited. I turned off the lights. Left one curtain cracked open. Sat behind it with a blanket and tea I didn't drink. At 10:47 p.m., I heard footsteps. Soft. Unhurried. Like someone who belonged there. I held my breath. The footsteps stopped. Right in front of my door. Then. The note was gone. No knock. No sound. Gone. The next morning, she was in the laundry room. Same green hoodie. Same too calm smile. She didn't speak. But when she turned to leave, I saw something peeking out of her pocket. Pink paper. That night, I got another note. He doesn't deserve your honesty. But I do. I kept replaying the moment she said. You looked a little down the other day. How did she know? She didn't live on my floor. No windows faced mine. And I never saw her near my mailbox, except once. 3 weeks ago. It was cold. She stood outside the building, arms crossed, no jacket. Said she forgot her key. I didn't think. I just buzzed her in. Thanks, she'd said. You're so nice. I'd have frozen out there. Back then, it felt like nothing. Now, it felt like a door I'd left wide open. I checked the locks, the windows. Everything seemed untouched. But the feeling didn't leave. I started noticing little things. A mug I didn't leave in the sink. A faint smell of my perfume, on a day I didn't wear it. A browser tab open I didn't click. It wasn't proof. But it felt personal. Too personal. Then I found it. Folded inside the sleeve of my coat. The green one. The one I hadn't worn in weeks. Another note. You look better in this one. He always liked you in green. I needed to know. Not guess. Not wonder. No. So I tested her. One afternoon, I went down to the laundry room. But I didn't lock my door. I left it open. Just slightly. And I waited. I walked slowly down the stairs, then crept back up the fire escape. Quiet as I could. From the stairwell window, I had a clear view of my door. Nothing happened for the first 5 minutes. Then I saw her. Green hoodie. Hair pulled back. Walking casually down the hall. She looked both ways. Then, reached for my door. Didn't knock. Didn't hesitate. She stepped inside. I waited 30 seconds. Maybe less. Then ran. When I got to the door, it was still ajar. I stepped inside. Hello? Silence. Natalie? No answer. I moved slowly through the apartment. Living room, empty. Kitchen, empty. Then I reached the bedroom. My closet was open. One hanger swayed like it had just been touched. And on my bed, another note. You used to trust me. That's what I loved most. I took the note. Snapped a photo. Held it in my shaking hands as I called the police. Someone's been entering my apartment. Leaving notes. I think she has a key. They sent a patrol car. A young officer. Kind eyes, but too quick with his notebook. No signs of forced entry, he said. Could be a prank. Or maybe a misunderstanding. I showed him the messages. The green hoodie. The fact that she'd used my paper, my pen. He nodded politely. Then asked. Have you had any recent stress? Fights? Breakups? I knew what that meant. You think I'm making this up? He raised a hand. We're not saying that. We're just not seeing anything criminal, yet. When he left, I called Daniel. He answered on the third ring. I can't do this again, he said before I spoke. The notes, the paranoia. You're spiraling. She was in my apartment. I said. I saw her. I caught her. Then call the cops, he replied. Don't drag me into it. Click. I stood in the kitchen. Alone. Hands trembling. And then I noticed something. My phone, still unlocked on the counter. Open to messages. To a draft I didn't write. I miss you. I wish you understood me like he does. My heart stopped. She hadn't just been inside. She'd used my phone. No one believed me. Not the police. Not Daniel. Not even myself, some days. But I knew what I felt. And I knew she'd be back. So I made a plan. I bought a camera. Small. Motion triggered. Hidden behind a book on the living room shelf. Facing the front door. Then I did something that made my stomach turn. I left the key under the mat. Just like she wanted. That night, I left the apartment for exactly 1 hour. I turned off my phone. No calls. No alerts. When I came back, everything looked untouched. No notes. No sounds. Nothing moved. But the camera light had blinked, once. I sat on the floor and played it back, She entered at 8:41 p.m. Calm. Quiet. Like she'd done it 100 times. She went straight to my closet. Took out a sweater. My green one. Tried it on in front of the mirror. Smiled. Then she walked into the kitchen. Boiled water. Used my mug. The one with my name on it. She sat at the table, looked at her reflection in the window. And whispered. Almost perfect. The next night, I came home early. Didn't knock. Didn't make a sound. I opened the door slowly. Heart racing, camera in my bag. She didn't hear me. She was in the kitchen. Back turned. Wearing my green sweater. Stirring something on the stove. Like she belonged there. Like this had always been her home. There was music playing, soft, familiar. My playlist. The one I only used when I was alone. I stepped forward. The floor creaked. She turned around. Saw me. And smiled. Not guilty. Not shocked. You're back early. Like I was the guest. Like I'd interrupted her. Take that off, I said, low and shaking. Get out of my apartment. She tilted her head. Our apartment, she said. You said I could stay here, remember? You wrote it. I froze. What are you talking about? She reached into the drawer. Pulled out a note. My handwriting. You're always welcome here. This is home. But I never wrote that. I ran. Down the stairs. Out the building. Didn't stop until I was at the gas station across the street. From there, I called 911. Voice shaking. Words stumbling over each other. She's in my apartment. She's wearing my clothes. She says it's hers. The dispatcher was calm. Said officers were on the way. Told me to stay where I was. I did. I watched my window the whole time. Waiting for lights. For movement. For any sign she was still inside. But the apartment stayed dark. When the officers arrived, they searched everything. No one was there. No green sweater. No dishes. No music. Just silence. One officer asked if I had a roommate. The other looked at me too long. There's no sign of forced entry, they said. Are you sure she wasn't invited? She wasn't real, I whispered. She wasn't supposed to be real. They left after 20 minutes. I walked through my apartment. Checking every cabinet, every door. Everything was where it should be. Until I reached the bathroom. There, written in lipstick on the mirror. I just wanted to be seen. I changed the locks. Installed a camera at the door. Started triple checking every window before I went to bed. I told the building I didn't feel safe. They offered to move me to another unit. But I said no. Because if I moved, I'd still take the fear with me. For a while, I kept thinking she'd come back. That I'd find another note. That I'd wake up to music I didn't play. Or tea I didn't make. But nothing happened. She was just gone. No one saw her leave. No one ever confirmed her name. No one filed a complaint. It's like she vanished the way she arrived. Quiet, unnoticed. Sometimes I wonder if she ever existed at all. If I imagined her. If the loneliness just found a new shape to wear. But then I look at that photo. The one from my camera. The green sweater. The reflection in the window. The smile that wasn't mine. And I remember. She didn't want to kill me. She just wanted to become me. And for a moment. She almost did. I changed the locks. Installed a camera at the door. Started triple checking every window before I went to bed. I told the building I didn't feel safe. They offered to move me to another unit. But I said no. Because if I moved, I'd still take the fear with me. For weeks, I expected something. A call. A letter. Another note. Nothing came. I did some digging. No one by her name had ever signed a lease here. No complaints. No police reports. I asked around. Only one neighbor remembered her. "Oh, the girl in green? I thought she lived with you." She didn't. I never found out her full name. But I found out where she'd been. A treatment facility. Outpatient. 10 blocks away. Discharged 6 months ago. Condition, stabilized. Diagnosis, identity delusion, unresolved grief. No follow-up contact. She wanted my life because she never had her own. She wanted to be loved the way I was. Seen the way I was. And she found someone who did love me. Daniel. He didn't come back after that night. He said he couldn't untangle what was real anymore. I don't blame him. But I do miss him. Sometimes I wonder if she's out there. Trying on someone else's sweater. Walking past someone else's door. Writing a new name over an old life. And sometimes I wonder. What if I had never noticed? Would I still be here? Or would I be watching from the outside? As someone else lived my life? If you were me, would you have let her in? Bell subscribe for more weekly stories like this. Speech balloon and tell me in the comments. What would you have done?